Hello and welcome. This is Lita Downs from the Center for Faculty Excellence, and I would like to welcome you to today's webinar, Going Beyond New Doctoral Student Orientation, Supporting Students Through the Doctoral Peer Mentor Program. Today's offering was originally presented at the July 2018 National Faculty Meeting in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Our two presenters today are Taryn Rye, who's an Associate Director of Mentoring and Tutoring in the Academic Skills Center, and Christy Franza, a Coordinator of Doctoral Peer Mentor Program in the Academic Skills Center. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Taryn. Welcome.
Thank you, Lita, and welcome everyone. We're happy today to speak with you about our Doctoral Peer Mentor Program and how we go beyond in supporting our students as they start their doctoral programs here at Walden University. To get started, I'd like to review a few program goals, the mentor role, and also discuss with you the pilot that we hosted for a year and a half before launching the program in 2018. And Christy's going to go into a few more details about the program and how we go beyond to support our students. The Peer Mentor program is designed with the following goals in mind. We want to help incoming doctoral students establish social connections. We know how important it is for them to get connected to their peers and create that social connection, that social network for them in building their confidence as they are starting their program. Second, we want to help them adapt to their new identities as scholar practitioners. This might be a new concept and a new role that they're identifying with, and so our peer mentors help them to identify with that and how to really take that on as a new student at Walden University. Lastly, we want to see them succeed in their first few terms, so we make sure that they are aware of all the support and resources available to them as they're beginning their program and beyond. We're really looking to build a strong foundation for success in their doctoral program. So those are a few of our goals that we have for the program and our students. And a little bit about our mentor role. The mentors are meant to establish this connection with their mentees, their students. And when they connect with their students, they're providing insider tips and their personal experience as to what they went through and how they accomplished and were successful in their courses and moving into their doctoral capstone. The mentors also lead students to resources when they have questions, or that we're even proactive in making sure students are aware of resources that they might need for writing or the library. The mentors also provide guidance for students when they have questions about who to go to or what to ask to make sure that they're going to the correct department or individuals for their support. And lastly, again, the mentors are here to provide that advice, provide motivation, and just a peer support, a place and a person where the students can ask any question and really feel supported and guided. So that's a little bit about the program in general. I'd like to share a few details about the pilot we ran before launching the program in 2018. Back in the summer of 2016, we started the program with 7 mentors. We worked with OIRA to provide us a list of sample students to offer the program to who are starting in new doctoral programs. Students were selected from the piloted programs, or the programs listed below. So these were our pilot programs that we started with. The students were informed that they were allowed the opportunity for a mentor during the beginning stages of the program. They were able to select the mentor they like to work with. And then our coordinator connected those mentors and mentees to start their relationship during the first term of the new student's term start. Our students and mentors primarily connected via email and via Skype for Business if the student and mentor would like to talk. And over that year and a half, we did see positive results for those students, especially who interacted with our mentors. Those students who interacted had higher rates of retention, and they also completed their residency within their first few terms. And this is in comparison to the control group. So those from our sample group who did consistently interact with their mentor had that higher term-to-term retention, and also completed their residency. And you can see here even our students who had minor interactions, maybe a email back or forth within the month, or significant interactions, meaning emails back and forth week to week. It really positively impacted how they retained into the second term, and it seemed to encourage them to get to residency sooner as well. So given these positive results, we were allowed to open up the opportunity to all new doctoral students at Walden in 2018. So we're going to go through a few details here on how we changed and expanded our support. And so Christy's going to explain a few more of those details. Christy?
Great, thank you, Taryn. So because of our strong pilot results, as Taryn just discussed, we were approved to roll out the program to all doctoral programs. And we did this in phases, beginning with the February 26th, 2018 quarter term start. With that term start, we offered the program to all new doctoral students in the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences and the College of Health Sciences. Then in May 2018, we added in quarter-based programs within the College of Education and the College of Management and Technology. In the fall term that we just started, we just added in the semester-based programs as well. So now the program is being offered to all newly enrolled doctoral students across all colleges and all programs here at Walden. While we were preparing for the rollout of the program and moving from pilot mode, we began creating materials and structure. For example, we created a web presence by being added to the Academic Skills Center website, which you see here on the screen. So you can find us right on that main ASC website. You just click on Peer Mentoring. That's going to take you to our area of the website where you can learn more about our mentors. You can learn about the expectations we have for the mentees while they're a part of our program. And you can also read some student feedback from those who have been through our program. The next step we took was to create some content that we could share with students who join our program. So to create some consistency and to provide structure, we went ahead and created some standard email outreach for our student communications. We started with the messaging for students who joined the program, and we called this the 8 Savvy Steps to Success, which is shown here on the left of the screen. In this series of messaging, our mentors share information about Walden resources. They share their own experiences at residency, guide the student through some self-reflection, and also provide tips and strategies for success throughout the term. For students who are active in our program for a second term, we created our Savvy Strategies messaging, which is here on the right of the screen. During this series, our mentors continue to share success strategies and also their experiences and tips related to a variety of topics. And so we cover things like reading strategies, how to avoid plagiarism, and also procrastination. All of the messaging that we use focuses on a really important skill or a piece of information that's going to help students be successful in their doctoral program. I also want to mention that we do have the mentors personalize the weekly messaging, so they do insert their own favorite strategies or their own experiences related to the topic for that week's message. So one example of that is attending residency. That's one of the main topics we focus on in the program because we know that's a big milestone for students. And so that's one area where we have our mentors really go into detail and share what that experience was like for them. So let's go ahead and we're going to show you one of our sample messages that we use as part of our outreach. So this is an example of one of our Savvy Step messages. This is actually Savvy Step number 6, Reflection and Peer Support. And there's just a couple things we wanted to share about the messaging that we use. First, we wanted to point out that we do provide students with a residency reminder regularly to encourage their registration. In the messages, we also shared links to relevant resources. So in this example message, we included direct links to that residency calendar and also our Facebook group for our program, which we'll discuss here a little bit later. In some of our other messages, we include links to useful information across Walden, so students can really easily find some relevant resources for all of the topics that we discuss with our mentees. One of the other really important steps we took while expanding the program was to add to our team of peer mentors. So we wanted our peer mentors to really have the spotlight in this presentation because they really are the stars of this program. We currently have a team of 12 mentors. You see them all here on the screen, and they do represent a wide range of colleges and programs. And so you see their programs listed there with their pictures. All of our mentors are graduate assistants. They all go through a standard application process here at Walden where they must submit a CV and also a cover letter. We then do a formal interview with them using Skype for Business. And then once they're hired, they do go through a pretty thorough training process. And so they complete a module related to the expectations of their role. They also complete FERPA training. And then they also go through a training checklist that we created that really helps them to become more familiar with all of the services provided to students here at Walden. They read research related to peer mentoring and best practices, and then they really practice using the tools that they're going to use in their role as a mentor. We do focus on hiring mentors who are closer to the first year experiences. We really think that that allows them to really remember those early feelings and connect with new students about the experiences and feelings they might be having as they start their program. Our mentors then remain in their role until the capstone proposal is approved. Transitioning them out of their role at that time really allows them time to focus on finishing that final stage of their program. It's really hard for us to let go of our experienced mentors, but we do recognize that, those final steps of the program are really time consuming and they take a lot of time, energy, and attention, and we just want to make sure they have all of those available so that they can finish their program. I did mention earlier that one of our first steps before the rollout was to create a web presence. One of the key sections of our website is our peer mentor bio page. So each mentor has a short bio on the website. And so this is an example of one of our peer mentors' bios. You can see here that Cherie has shared some basic information about herself. She's included her current program and her educational background and also her location. But they also have shared, or Cherie has also shared her research interests, some hobbies that she enjoys, and also a piece of advice for new students. And so when students are interested in requesting a mentor, they can come to these bios and really learn about all of our peer mentors that are available. And this page is regularly updated as peer mentors transition from their role and when we hire new mentors. So again, all of our mentors are featured on our website with their own bio. So now that I've talked a little bit about how we built things for the rollout of the program, I'm going to pass things to Taryn to chat a little bit about how we have marketed the program. Taryn?
Thanks, Christy. Yes, so moving forward in 2018, it was really important that we made sure students were aware of the program offering of a doctoral peer mentor. During the pilot phase, students were automatically assigned a peer mentor, those that were a part of our sample group. And so we thought we knew it was very important that we make sure students were aware, and then obviously other individuals within the university who are supporting students in their first term. So to start with, we directly contact the students via email. We start sending emails to new students who have reserved for the upcoming term start 1 month in advance. We send those emails to their Walden email and their personal emails. We also made sure to meet with all of the enrollment advising teams and academic advising teams to discuss the program, answer questions, and then we regularly send reminder emails to each team about the program and encouraging them to encourage their new students to consider requesting a peer mentor as they're getting started. Faculty also play an important role in our referrals to the program, especially those that teach the foundation courses for the doctoral programs. There's an opportunity for faculty to post information about the peer mentor requests that students can put in, and faculty are also allowed to refer students who seem to be maybe struggling, that need a little bit of extra support or a network. And lastly, we made sure to connect with other student-facing departments, such as student support, the residencies team, student affairs, um, field experience, disability office, and so on. We want to make sure that all the departments who really are student-facing and are interacting with our new students were aware of this opportunity, so as any issues or requests from students come up, they're aware of the program and when it's appropriate to refer a new student to us. The images on the slide here show you the sample email we send to our new students directly. And then the image to the right, titled Academic Advising, is the reminder email we send out to the academic advising team. So that's a sample. And on our request forms, when students submit a request for a mentor, we ask where they heard about the program. We found a pretty even split of where students are coming from. About 30% of our students hear about our program through email, another 30% through enrollment advisors, and then the other 30% is divided between academic advising, faculty, or a friend. So we're glad to know that students are getting to us from a variety of areas and that we've hopefully done a good job of making sure all these different departments are aware of the program and getting students to us to request their mentor. As far as requesting a mentor in the process, students just need to complete a request a peer mentor form. I'll show you a sample of that form on the next slide, but it's pretty straightforward and easy for students to fill out. Students can request a mentor before term start, before their term start through week 2 of that term. We recognize that students are quite busy as they're getting started in their program and have probably a lot of questions regarding their program or financial aid and so on. So we wanted to allow that time through week 2 for students to decide if this would be the best fit for them to request a mentor. And we also allow students to request a mentor during their first or their second term. In the same case as well, some students might think they don't need a peer mentor as they're getting started and not request one during their first term. But as they go throughout their term, maybe they find they could use the additional support or would like to network with more peers or colleagues or an advanced student in their program. And so this allows them the opportunity to request a mentor during their second term. Our mentors begin with their introductions to their students, or as we call them, mentees, 1 week before the term start. And then that relationship between the mentor and mentee continues until the mentee attends their first residency or completes 3 terms, whichever of those comes first. We really see that residency, again, is a milestone for students where they do get connected with other students, faculty, and staff. And or by the time they complete 3 terms, really have that foundation established for them to be successful moving forward. So that's kind of where we end the relationship and allow students to continue on, and that also allows us to continually invite new students in and create a good balance for our mentors who are handling mentee cohorts on a term-to-term basis. Here's a sample of our mentor request form. As you can see, the description and a summary of our mentors are provided, and then students just need to provide their information and student information as well. Students are allowed to elect up to 3 mentors. Most often we're able to connect them with their first choice, but we do let them know we cannot guarantee in order to create a balance among the cohort groups for our mentors. As Chrissy talked about, we did tier out how we rolled out the opportunity for our new students this year. And so back in the February term start, during spring quarter term start, we just offered the program to new students enrolling in doctoral programs in CHS and CSBS. We saw about 227 students request a mentor, and that was around 29% of our total enrollment for that term start. And for May, we offered it then to all new students enrolling in quarter-based doctoral programs across all colleges. During that term start, we had around 283 mentees request a mentor. With our growing group of 12 mentors, we did have to hire a few more from the spring to the summer to meet demand. And so that was around 32% of our enrollment for those programs. Then moving into fall quarter, all new doctoral students were welcome to request a mentor. So all students enrolling in the quarter-based or semester-based programs were allowed to request a mentor, and that will be the same moving forward from now on. We had around 501 mentees request a mentor, and that equaled out to about 44% of our enrolling students who requested a peer mentor. We're very excited about those results as far as the number of students requesting a mentor, and we'll be evaluating how that will affect term-to-term retention,
Great, thank you, Taryn.
residency, and so on.
So thanks. So the majority of our mentor-mentee communication happens via email, and we do use those savvy steps to success and savvy strategies messages that we discussed earlier. Outside of email messages, mentees do have the option to connect with their mentor using Skype for Business. Skype for Business is offered to all students here at Walden as part of Office 365, so it's something available to everyone. All of our mentors are graduate assistants, so they don't have university-issued phones. So using the Skype for Business does allow them to keep some boundaries by not giving out personal contact information, but it does give that chance for mentees to connect and chat with them in real time. And if a mentee would like to chat with their mentor, they just communicate back and forth to schedule a time that's going to work for both of their schedules. So it's a very informal process for them to do that. Our mentors have also started hosting monthly drop-in sessions using Adobe Connect. So during these very informal sessions, two of our mentors host an hour-long session. Mentees can attend the whole hour session, or they can come to just ask some questions and leave when they need to. To facilitate conversation, we do create a theme for the session, such as overcoming barriers or working with instructors. For those themes, we do create some poll questions and also some questions that I can ask our mentors who are hosting to just sort of begin the conversation if mentees don't immediately start by asking some questions. Our mentors also write blog posts on topics such as their residency experience or completing the doctoral writing assessment. They do also participate in podcast recordings, and in those they often share their own Walden journey or how they've overcome a particular challenge that they've faced as a student. And then lastly, our mentors also moderate a closed Facebook group for our program. So this is a place where mentees can ask questions, they can connect with peers and all of our mentors. Our mentors also share information in this group, so they'll share links to upcoming webinars across Walden. They'll provide some links to helpful resources or tools available to help students, and also post some motivational quotes and things like that. Across all of our interactions with students, we do see some common themes and questions that we get from our mentees. So we wanted to share some of the common questions we get from mentees because we think it helps to kind of see the connection that are happening between our mentees and mentors. So many of our questions do center around the mentor's own experiences. Mentees are often very interested in the capstone process, how long the program is taking the mentor. They're also really interested as to if the mentors have experienced similar feelings and struggles that they're having as they start their program. We also get a lot of questions about strategies that mentors use to help them succeed. One of the most common topics is related to how to balance everything in life with coursework. As many of you know, a lot of our students are juggling work along with family obligations and now also their coursework. And so they're really interested in learning about ways to help them manage all of those responsibilities. So we've also had students ask questions about how to read more efficiently because they feel overwhelmed by the amount of reading they're being asked to do in their program. And another one that's come up quite often actually, especially in those drop-in sessions, is perfectionism. And they really want to know how they can overcome those feelings of perfectionism and that overwhelming cycle that they often get stuck in. Mentees also reach out to really learn more about how to adjust to doctoral expectations. We all know that doctoral level work comes with higher expectations, especially related to writing and research. So some mentees have shared they're getting a lot more feedback than they have maybe in previous programs, and they really want to know how they can manage all of it. We also see questions that are often related to understanding some of the terminology being used in their courses and in their course assignment prompts, such as the term scholarly sources. They want to know what that is, where they can learn more about it, those kinds of questions. And we do, in general, see a lot of worry and concern about the capstone. So as a reminder, these are students beginning their programs, but we see them very concerned about that capstone phase. And then finally, we did mention that one of the key things we focus on is residency. That's a big milestone for students, as we know. We do get a lot of questions from mentees about how to prepare for residency, how to get registered, and then also, what's expected at residency. A lot of the questions are really logistical type questions. They want to know, are there going to be signs when I get there that are going to tell me where I need to be, and just sort of those expectations for when they arrive. I do want to point out that while our mentors do share tips and strategies and they share their experiences, they're also trained to refer students to appropriate teams for support as well. So if a student has questions about registering for residency or when they absolutely have to complete a first residency, our mentors do refer their mentees to the academic advising team. And then as another example, if a student or a mentee has questions related to instructor expectations or understanding an assignment, our mentors would remind mentees that it would be best to directly connect with the instructor. In those situations, they might also share some tips for how to best communicate with their advisor or instructor, or ask the mentee if they need some support with communicating with their advisor or instructor. So throughout our program, from pilot until now, we have been collecting monthly data related to our interactions between mentees and mentors. So on a weekly basis, all of our mentors complete a tracking survey in Qualtrics to share some information about their work with mentees during the week. We're then able to go ahead and pull those reports and record data on the interaction rates we're seeing between mentees and mentors. The interaction rate that we track is found by dividing the number of mentees who had interactions with their mentors in the month by the total number of mentees in the program for the month. So what you see here on this slide is our data for the February 2018 term start on the top, and then our May 2018 term start on the bottom. You do see that the total number of mentees changes a bit month to month. That reflects situations where mentees are identified as an inactive student. So if a student withdraws from the university or maybe has a hold on their account, we do remove those students from the total number to provide a more accurate picture of the mentor-mentee interactions. During the pilot phase of our program, our average interaction rate was 23%. As we have expanded the program, we have seen much higher rates, as high as 76% in June for our May 2018 term start. We do see ups and downs throughout the term, and we do see the interactions drop off when mentees move into their second term of the program. We did anticipate this drop in interaction as students advanced in their program. We will continue to track the program, make adjustments to our messaging and our approaches as we need to really, most benefit the mentees. But we also believe that the reduced amount of questions from mentees is actually a sign that they're forming connections across Walden, which really is a key goal of our program. We want mentees to be making connections outside of their mentor as well. And so the less they're reaching out with questions, perhaps they have made more of those connections. So earlier I mentioned that we do have a closed Facebook group for the program as well, and so we wanted to share a little bit more about that with everyone. So this has become a space where there really are meaningful conversations happening between mentors and mentees. The images you see on the left are a couple of examples of just sort of motivational content that we've shared in the group. And then we also include posts related to upcoming events and university webinars and things like that. On the right, you see a word cloud of common topics that were being discussed within the group. And you see there right in the middle, residency was a big topic. You see a couple of cities in here as well where residencies were happening, as well as some topics related to travel. So residency was really a popular topic in the group over the summer months. Students were really talking about that. We have really seen this space grow in recent months. Mentees are reaching out and asking questions, they're sharing their experiences, and they're really reaching out for support. And we've really seen peers and also our mentors responding with a lot of great resources, words of encouragement, tips, and everything. One of the most significant things we've seen happening in here is mentees making connections with one another. And so we've had mentees plan outings together at residency. We've had mentees reach out about sharing rooms together at residency. And so they're really forming those connections. And again, one of our goals is really to help mentees feel more connected in the online learning environment. And this group in particular seems to have provided a really nice place for some of those connections to start happening for students. We do also collect data on our Facebook group interactions, and so we do that on a monthly basis as well. And so we track things like the number of posts that are happening, how many mentees are interacting in the group, things like that. And this is just a snapshot of some of the data that we're looking at every month. So you see that our total number of members in the group has been growing, but I think what's more impressive is the number of mentee main posts, which is that second row in the table. We've seen that number on the rise the last few months. More and more mentees are starting the conversations within the group. So they're not waiting for one of us to post something or to ask a question in the group. They're starting the conversations by asking questions or sharing a frustration or an accomplishment with everyone else in the group. We've also seen the total seen posts reach some pretty high numbers here. This means that more mentees have seen the posts within their Facebook feed. So in June, we hit over 3,000 total seen posts for that month. And for the month of June, we saw the average number of seen posts was 59. So again, this is just another area where we will continue to monitor and track the interactions that are happening between mentees and mentors. But we really have started to see some exciting conversations and connections happening within this space. So before we look at some other data that we have from mentee feedback, we do know that sometimes there's confusion about what our mentors do in their role, and so we just wanted to take a minute here and provide some clarification. So as we've discussed throughout the presentation, our mentors share their own strategies and experiences. They provide encouragement, and they also refer students to other teams when it's appropriate, such as the academic advisor. Our mentors do not provide academic support with assignments. We have had situations where students ask if mentors could review their assignments before they submit them, and that's really beyond their role as a mentor. In those cases, our mentors refer students to other teams, such as the Writing Center, who might be able to give them some additional support. Or if it's a case where the student is just unclear about the assignment or not understanding course content, the mentor would encourage them to reach out to their instructor for some additional support. Our mentors also do not advise students on program requirements or help them register for courses or residencies. Again, in those situations, our mentors would refer the mentees, to the experts on the topic of registration, and that would be the academic advising team. So that's just a quick overview of what we do and what we don't do. And with that in mind, we do have some qualitative feedback from mentees who have gone through our program. And so again, we've gotten some qualitative feedback from students who have completed a closing survey about their experience in the program. And these are just a few of those mentee responses that we've received. You see overall the students believe they've really received valuable information and support from working with their mentor during the program. And they feel like they've walked away with some really useful strategies that they can apply in their program. Overall, students just really see the value of the experience. They're really thankful for the support that they've gotten from working with their mentor. So now that I've talked about the relationships that are happening between our mentors and mentees and also shared some current data, Taryn's going to chat a little bit about where we're heading next. Taryn?
Thanks, Christy. Yes, so we hope that from the details that Christy provided, you can really see how we're going beyond in our support of our new doctoral students, reaching out one-on-one, providing group sessions for students to connect, this private Facebook group for social connections to be occurring on a daily basis. So we're really excited about that, but we also have many more ideas of how we can engage with students and support them. A couple of items that we're planning to expand upon moving forward is to move our mentors into a more formal appointment system. This will allow for the mentors to open up time throughout the week to schedule one-on-one appointments for them to talk and connect with their mentees. Moving into this system will also allow for our mentees to kind of practice that time management of scheduling their appointments ahead of time and preparing some of the items they like to talk to their mentor about. Additionally, we want to increase the frequency of our group drop-in sessions. We've seen an increase of student participation in those drop-in sessions, and that they're really helpful for the students, and our mentors thoroughly enjoy connecting with students in that type of environment. So we're hoping to increase those to 2 times a week, like a bi-weekly group drop-in session. Additionally, moving forward, of course, we will continue to evaluate how the program is impacting retention term to term, and also how soon our students are attending residency, their first residency in their program. And many times we've been asked when this type of program might be able to be offered to our undergraduate and master's level students. At this time, we can say that we are just getting the doctoral program rolled out, and we're going to see how our program is able to support and retain these students moving forward. And depending on how that goes, we'll see where leadership would like to move forward as far as expanding the program. We're really excited though about the positive feedback that we've received so far from students, so we're anxious to see what the data will look like in 2019 after we've been in process for a full year. So a few details we want to leave you with is a reminder on how to refer new students to the Doctoral Peer Mentor program. Again, students must be in their first or second term of their program to request a mentor, and students must put in their mentor requests within the first 2 weeks of the term. So anytime before they reserve through week 2 of the term. And then students just need to complete the request a peer mentor form. When they submit that request, Christy organizes all those requests and connects the mentors and mentees, and they start their relationship 1 week before the term starts. We do want to make it as easy as possible for faculty to refer students to the program. So we have provided a classroom announcement that is available for you just to copy and paste. And you can get to that via this link on the slide. All right. So I think we've provided many details for you about the program and how we support students, how to refer students to our program. But certainly if you have any further questions about the Doctoral Peer Mentor program, don't hesitate to email us at docmentorsupport@mail.waldenu.edu. So Christy and I want to thank you for your time today. We look forward to supporting more